2026 here in Gig Harbor is going to begin to look a lot different because there's a lot of things that are going on. There's not one big project happening, but there's lots of little projects that are going to affect people's daily lives. Some of these things are sporting complexes for the kids. Some of these are housing projects that are coming in. So when you look at what is already funded for 2026 or what may already be underway or what is in the works, a very clear picture shows up. And the most fun thing that we're going to talk about is all the big events coming in 2026. And that is what makes this town move and thrive. And you can see when downtown is going to get packed. Hey everybody, my name is Darren Rivers. I am a Northwest Realtor and I am managing broker of the Rivers Group. And my team and I help hundreds and hundreds of families relocate to Gig Harbor every year. I would love to be a resource for you guys. And let's get started on this video. So point number one is going to be some sports complexes that are just finishing up being built. And this is huge, especially for families. It was huge for me when my kids were little. I'm still a family, I'm still a dad and all that stuff, but now my kids are a young adult. They don't play on the sports fields anymore, but when they were little, this was huge for us. So anyway, about a year ago now, the YMCA in Gig Harbor North started building 2 turf fields that have lights on them. They're synthetic turf, so you don't have to worry about grass and fertilizer and watering and sprinkler systems and all that sort of stuff. So synthetic grass fields are lit up, so when it gets dark, you can still use them. And this is really going to expand all the opportunity for sporting events for kids, families, even adult leagues play there as well. Obviously, those aren't as popular as for the kids, but we had a problem previously where we just didn't have enough space for all the things going on between soccer, baseball, and football, all the outdoor things that kids do. Lacrosse is getting really big. Now we have these 2 brand new state-of-the-art sports complexes in Gig Harbor North that families can take advantage of, and they're awesome. The pickleball courts right there. There's a playground for the little ones to play in while the older siblings are out playing on the sports fields. It's going to be a really cool spot opening this spring. So let's talk about some practical implications of these sports fields going in. It's just going to make the weekend around the YMCA in that area more busy. So in Gig Harbor North, right where all this is a lot of other amenities that are frequently used, especially on the weekends, right? So we have the YMCA, obviously. We have Home Depot right there. We have Target right there. We have Costco right there. We have a Safeway grocery store right there. There's all of these things that are right there. And then boom, right next door now is these sports fields. So when families are coming in for the soccer games every hour or baseball games or whatever it may be, it's going to be definitely more congested. Just getting there. Is this a huge deal? No, but it's just going to be more crowded. It also makes Gig Harbor North a bit more attractive for people that want all of these things, especially in their backyard. From a real estate standpoint, if you buy in a neighborhood like Harbor Hill, you can literally walk to these sporting complexes from neighborhood. Canterwood is just right up the street. There's all sorts of areas all over in Gig Harbor North that are going to make these sports fields super, super convenient. In my opinion, this kind of growth is good. I mean, this was a must. Whenever my kids were little, I used to coach all the things. I coached Little League, I coached their soccer, I did all that stuff. And we were always fighting for space. And I say fighting, we weren't fighting, but it was always crowded as to where you're going to hold your practices. Especially in the winter, it gets dark early, so a lot of the fields didn't have lights, and so school gets out, you have a couple hours and then it's dark and all the teams need to practice and stuff. This is going to help alleviate a lot of that, and they're brand new. I mean, this is going to be great. So I really look forward to these things going into effect. Check them out. We're going to post them right here. Penn Met Parks, YMCA websites, all of that, they're all right here. Okay, let's transition to point number 2, and this is a big topic for a lot of people, especially those of us that have been in Gig Harbor for many, many years, because we have seen it grow and therefore we've seen the impact of the traffic. And so slated for 2026, and it's like a 5-year project, but they're going to start improving some access to Highway 16, particularly at the Woolachet on-ramp and off-ramp. Right now, it's just a choke point. It really is, and things get backed up. It's not the safest on-ramp in the world, so they got slated to get that fixed or at least improved. And as more people move here, this is a very much needed change. The impact of this is huge, really. I mean, this is a big safety thing. The way that the on-ramp is right there right now, it's not the safest thing. You come from a very slow speed, have to accelerate very quickly to get up to speed to merge on the freeway. You don't have a lot of time to do that. And it's just, some people aren't very comfortable with that. And it becomes a choke point for traffic well. So my previous career, in case you didn't know, I was in the fire service for 21 years. I was a paramedic for 19 of those years. For me, safety is huge, and anything to improve our traffic patterns, make them more efficient, make make them safer, less stressful to get from point A to point B, whether it be you're going shopping, you're going to work, you're taking the kids to school, whatever it may be. Any improvement like this is going to be great. This has been needed for a while, and now it's finally in the works. And believe it or not, this is going to have an impact on real estate as well. I mean, think about a buyer that's out shopping for homes. And if they're shopping around and it's just a pain in the butt to get to one neighborhood because of traffic or lots of stoplights or, one-way streets with high-speed things, things like that, those are all negative. And they just play in the back of your mind. But if it's just a nice, easy commute to get out to the neighborhood that you're looking in, and it's just stress-free, it just makes the whole experience more enjoyable, and it may make that neighborhood and that house more appealing as well. All right, let's make a transition away from traffic and something more enjoyable, such as Fox Island and the sand spit that sits out there. So there's this awesome sand spit on Fox Island to walk out to. It's this little peninsula. There's water all around. Seals are playing. It's a great spot to be, but it has been hard to access, especially if you're maybe a little slower, maybe elderly, maybe disabled, things like that. It was just hard to access. So there's a big project that's been going on to make it much more ADA accessible. And this is easier for everybody. It makes it easier for my parents who, my parents are in their 80s. So they're not as limber as they used to be. They're not as spry as they used to be. So steep trails, lots of steps, things like that. It's hard on them, especially compared to how they were 30, 40 years ago. So this project makes it much more accessible. And the great thing about this is many more people can enjoy it. Everybody out there can go enjoy the spit. It's really cool to be out there on, and you got to come check it out. It's a great park. It's a great area to be, especially in the summer when it's nice and warm and you got the warm sand between your toes. It's really cool. So just so you know, this is a PenMet Parks project. And what's really cool, especially if you're a Fox Island resident, a lot of people like to go out there, walk their dogs, and they just like to walk from home. But it was limited because the access wasn't really easy. You had to be, pretty young, pretty in shape, all those things. Now it's just accessible for everybody. So those of you that live on Fox Island or are thinking about moving to Fox Island and you want a really cool spot to walk out to with the family or the pets or whatever it is, this is going to make it a lot easier. You can check it out on penmetpark.com. Okay, let's transition to something that's not quite as sexy, but it is very important, and that is stormwater. So get this, Gig Harbor is considering a stormwater park, and it's going to be off of Soundview Drive, and it's actually to contain all the stormwater. So think about this, years and years and years ago, when all these developments started being built, concrete's being poured everywhere, asphalt's being poured everywhere, and guess what? Water doesn't get through that stuff. So it runs off in other places, erodes things around it. Now they have an impervious concrete, I think that's what it's called. So the water can actually get through the concrete, but that's fairly new. Most things, especially from 10 years ago and further back, don't have this. So it's really important to channel where all this water runoff goes. And the city is considering a park, and it's again not going to be super sexy, but a park to help channel this. Really big for the infrastructure of Gig Harbor, really big for the environmental stability of our area, and it's something we need to be really cognizant of. So this is something that's in the works. I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it. So the next item we're going to talk about is just much more of a broad umbrella type item, and it's something that's kind of vague, and we're just going to have to see what happens with it. But it's basically our growth plan. What is going to be built in and around Gig Harbor moving forward? And this is state and city driven. There's lots of things like, they want urban density and not urban sprawl, planned communities, things like that. What apartment buildings are going to go in possibly for affordable housing. There's all sorts of talk out there, and it's just everything's kind of up in the air. So where it's going to go, what's actually going to happen, what's being proposed, things like that. But this is just stuff to keep an eye on. This happens in every city around the country as it grows, because the city planners and the county planners and then, the state legislators, they all have their fingers in this stuff, and they want to make sure that it's done right and fairly for everybody. So this is just something we have to keep our eye on as we grow to see kind of what gets developed. But it's good to be in the know so you don't move here expecting it just to stay as it is, because I guarantee it's going to change. And there's some real practical impacts with this. So let's say you buy a home and you have a relatively peaceful street, not a lot of traffic going by, and then you find out a year later, quarter mile down the road past your house, they're going to build a 100-unit apartment building. Well, that's going to drastically change what the front of your street looks like, how busy it is, how noisy it is, all those things. So before you buy a home, you should see what's going on around, what the possibilities are of things coming in the future, just so you're not caught off guard. And from a real estate standpoint, that could dramatically affect the value of your property from it once being a nice, quiet little little place to all of a sudden it is a busy road with cars flying by and it's not safe for your kids to go out front and play. I mean, that could be a very negative impact. On the other hand, there's a park that's being developed down the street and it just adds to all the amenities around you and makes it easy so you could just go walk down there with the kids or the family or the dog. That might make it your property more valuable. All right, let's totally switch gears here now and let's talk about some construction projects that are coming, and let's go into the differences of those, what may attract some people to them and what may turn some people off from them, and see if one of them might be a good fit for you. All right, the first one we're going to talk about is called the Reserve at Gig Harbor, and these homes are all built by Mainview. This is not a huge master plan. It's literally like one little cul-de-sac. There's like 13 lots in there. But the great thing about this is its location. It's right up Peacock Hill. Some of these homes might have views of harbor down below, maybe of Mount Rainier. Just kind of depends how it's situated there, and hopefully nothing's in the way. Hill. And then the other thing is you just go about a mile the other way, and that's where all those shops in Gig Harbor North is. You know, Costco, Target, YMCA, Home Depot, all of those things. So it's in a great location. These are going to be brand new homes. These are going to be upper end. I hate to say track home, because track home, I just think of the cookie cutter next to each other, next to each other, next to each other. This is definitely a planned community, and the homes are, you know, there's going to be some similar genres in there, but Mainview is a higher end of these, and these homes are going to be bigger. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, obviously, but it's not a huge master plan. Like I said, there's only just over a dozen lots in there that they're going to be building on. So not a huge 3,000 home development going on at all. This might be a good spot. Another type of new construction that's going on in Gig Harbor, and these are just one-offs. So these are well-known builders. Garrett Homes is one. Ron Henriksen is another builder that he buys these. He'll buy a lot here or there, or he'll be able to buy 2 or 3 side by side, and they will build really nice spec homes on these lots. And there's one going on in Gig Harbor North, actually kind of more towards Rosedale, where Garrett bought 4 lots, and they're building 4 beautiful homes on big lots. These lots are almost an acre. The homes are 3,500 square feet or so. They're going to be like $1.4, $1.5 million, but they have all the top end, high end stuff. So again, they're not track homes. They're kind of one-offs with some space and privacy, but you get the advantage of a brand new house. And you know where else builds like that are happening is on Fox Island. So you can have all the things that Fox Island has to offer. You can be a little bit more off the beaten path, a little bit more away from people, have a bit more privacy, but still have a brand new home. There's plenty of space out there for this to happen without it getting overcrowded. And again, these are not tract home communities whatsoever. They're just one-offs here and there where there is an empty lot, some space to build a nice home that was not invasive upon anybody else. They're all over the place out there. We're going to show you some right here that are popping up, and they're really cool. Okay, let's move a little bit out of Gig Harbor now. Let's go into South Kitsap and McCormick Woods. This is a big planned community, master community area where they're put lots of stuff into this. So McCormick Woods itself has been there for quite a while. There's a golf course there. It's a public golf course. It's a really nice one. And the original homes that are all built around the golf course, those have been there since the 80s or so. Now it's really growing now, and Mainview has homes being built in there. Tri-Point has homes being built in there. There's several builders that have bought lots of land in there, subdivided it up, and they're building tract homes in there. The great thing about it is all the amenities have to go into it as well. So they're putting all the hiking trails in, and they're putting shopping, and they're making sure that there's plenty of space for growth. They have traffic control patterns, all the things, all of this stuff is being really planned out. So it makes it flow, makes it very convenient, very livable. And when you get up into South Kitsap, your dollar is going to go further than it is in Gig Harbor. So if you're buying up there, you can get the same house for a few $100,000 less than if that neighborhood was picked up and put down here in Gig Harbor. So who is a neighborhood like this good for? Well, it's good for lots of people, but it's good for people that want a planned community, that want neighbors, that want to be involved in their community, not for if you want super privacy and never see your neighbor and have acreage, this isn't the spot for you. But if you want to be in a neighborhood, you want your kids to be able to go across the street and play with friends over there, if you want Halloween activities, if you want trails and all those things that are really easy to access from your house, and if you want maybe a brand new house, this might be a great spot for you. And if you can't quite afford Gig Harbor, or it's a little cost prohibitive, this is a really good place to consider where your dollar is going to go further. Okay, now let's get into the fun stuff. But before we do, just remember all my information is right here. My team and I would love to help you out, be a resource for you on any questions you may have about this video or any of our other ones, or if you're just asking questions about the surrounding areas, Gig Harbor. Anyway, we'd love to be your resource. Give us a call at any point. And again, download that QR code right there. Help you along quite a bit. Okay, like I said, now we're going to get into the fun part. And this is the fun events coming in 2026 here in Gig Harbor. And the number one thing by far is the Maritime Festival. And that is on June 6th and 7th. This is huge. They close down all of downtown. They have a parade that virtually everybody in the neighborhood is in. Or I'm sorry, everybody in the community is in. My kids used to be in this parade with their elementary school, and they used to ride their unicycles through this parade. But you get floats and classic cars and clubs and everything, and then everybody else that's not in the parade lines the streets. I guarantee you're going to run into 100 people you know there because everybody comes out of the woodwork and hangs out for this Maritime Festival. That's on Saturday morning. It is a great time. And after the parade is over, the streets stay shut down and they bring out all the vendors. There's tents and pop-ups lining the street with food things, ice cream, trinkets to buy, you named it, it's there. It's really, really cool. And then on Sunday, they have a classic car show on the street again. So the whole street stays shut down for the whole weekend. It's really a hub of fun. It's one of the big activities year after year in Gig Harbor. June 6th and 7th of this year, it's coming and I look forward. I just want to touch on one thing on that Maritime Festival again really quick. And this is one of the charming things about Gig Harbor is the community events that we have just like this one. And this is what makes it so attractive. Or it's an example of one of the things that makes Gig Harbor so attractive for people to move to. It's just a fun, safe, lively place to be with the calm, peaceful, small town feel as well. It's a perfect blend of both. But this is really when our town comes alive for this event this weekend. And it's until you've experienced it, I can't quite put it into words because it's really, really great. And if you come for it, you'll see why everybody wants to live. Another thing Gig Harbor has every spring is the Chowder Fest. And it's just you go around and there's different places that have different types of chowder. And you get lots of walking and activity. You go in and sample them. People, again, just come out of their homes, out of the woodwork. You run into people. It's a great social event while you get to sample some great chowders out. Now, some of the impact of these events, especially Chowder Fest and the Maritime Festival that I mentioned before, is it gets crowded downtown. Parking becomes a pain in the butt. You might have to park way up the hill and walk down. That is one of the problems with Gig Harbor is the street parking and public parking downtown, especially in the summertime or especially during these events, it gets a little bit crowded. So plan ahead for sure, but it's well worth it. And then guess what Chowder Fest rolls into? It rolls into Restaurant Week. So there's lots of restaurants that participate in this and they have some special items on the menu for you to taste and they give little discounts and it's Restaurant Week. So it runs for several days. So obviously you're not going to go to 10 different restaurants in one day, but you can hit downtown, take a walk, try something different, try their specialty items. It's a great way to see what Gig Harbor has to offer as far as food and all the delicatessens down there. You should come check it out. You know what else Gig Harbor has? Is Gig Harbor has walking tours. Believe it or not, you can meet downtown. There's a guide and they will walk you down the waterfront of Gig Harbor and give you all the history of how Gig Harbor came to be. The Scansey family and the Croatians and the fishing and the timber and all the stuff, the boat building, all the things that made Gig Harbor grow into what it is now. They go through all the origins of that and all the historical places and now the common things to see now and the sightseeing. And there's the Gig Harbor Historical Museum, all of that. They have a walking tour of downtown Gig Harbor, which I was unaware of until not too long ago when I just happened upon one. And it was really, really fun. And as we begin to transition from spring, well, we're in spring now, but coming into the summer months, Gig Harbor comes alive during the week with farmers market every week down at Scansey Park. And then the summer concert series also in Scansey Park every single week. So the summer concert series is a free concert in the park. Every week, a new band comes in. People just put their lawn chairs out on the lawn, get there early to get your spot. Can get pretty crowded, but it's free music. And again, the city just kind of comes alive. Also, there's the farmers market once a week, and it's all the homegrown organic stuff, the local trinkets. It's all local vendors. Really cool little spot just to get some fresh produce, some fresh little trinkets and artwork, things like that. It's really nice. It's what gives Gig Harbor our sense of community or things like this. It's something that I've come to know and love about Gig Harbor, and I love going to these things on a weekly basis. And the last event I want to touch on coming up in September 24th through the 27th is the Gig Harbor Film Festival. Yes, we have a film festival here as well. It is not huge. It's not like the Park City Film Festival or anything like that, but we do have a film festival here. We do get some out-of-towners that come in, so things might feel a little bit more crowded during those few days. Hotel rooms fill up. The weather is fantastic in September, so those people are out enjoying the water Waterfront and everything like that as well. But it's a really cool event that you should look at if you are here, or if you live here, come check it out. All right, everybody, that is some down and dirty, nitty gritty, right to the point things that you can look forward to happening in and around Gig Harbor in 2026. Again, my name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor. I am managing broker of the Rivers Group. There are 7 of us, and we would love to help you out if you are looking at anything real estate related, or even if you just have a question about any information on these videos, we'd love to be that resource for you as well. Again, I put it up a few times, but here's all my information, that QR code right there. Make sure you get that. We will see you on the next video.